everybody and welcome to today's video. So today it's going to be another update on my lithops. All of the seed pods on the lithops are now ready to pick off and they're really dried up, crusty and brown. This is my multi-headed lithops, so this is how it looks now, and then I'll show you how it looks afterwards. So that has about 3 seed pods there. So you can either harvest these by opening them up manually, or you can submerge them into some water where naturally the star-like shape of this seed pod will open out and release the seeds because they are reactive to rain or water when you do it manually yourself. But today I'm going to be doing it both ways. So I'm going to be doing some in a water bowl and others manually. So this is a good opportunity to remove the old dried leaves whilst you are harvesting the seed capsules. Sometimes it can be a bit awkward to get to, but you just need to persevere, and sometimes you might cause a few marks on the lithops. So I'm probably being a little bit more aggressive here than I should do, and I'm using a tool to hold down the lithops because I'm trying not to touch the windows of the lithops because the oils in our skin can cause a reaction on the lithops, so it's best not to touch them, but you can take a little bit more care than me. So I did catch it a little bit here, but that should heal over okay. And these are the 3 seed pods, so I'll harvest those and pop those with the rest of the seeds. So here are some seed pods I prepared earlier. So these ones I'm going to open manually. So what you're seeing coming out now is the actual lithops seeds. They are very tiny, like a grain of sand or fine sand. And they're an orangish tan colour. So because I've got quite a few lithops here with quite a few pods, I'm not going to be keeping the seeds separate because that's just too fiddly. And I'm not 100% sure on the exact ID of each lithops. So I'm going to process all of the seed pods together. So I'm going to have a mixed batch of seeds. So here's a bit more of a close-up of these seeds. And here are some seeds on the end of my index finger. So it really is like grains of sand. And then we're just going to pop the seeds in. And then push them under the water a little bit. So this will replicate heavy rainfall coming down onto the lithops in its natural habitat. And once it senses the raindrops, the mechanism starts to happen where it will release the seeds. We can see all of the seeds now. So you can see how beautifully this seed pod has opened out. So this was the largest seed pod I had. So there are 6 little segments there, each containing many seed. So technically, if you was to leave this to fully dry out again, it should re-close as it would do in nature. Once the rain stops and it dries out, the pod then closes back up again. and waits again for more rain. So it doesn't matter to get the seeds wet when you're harvesting seed. It's a fun way to do it, but to be honest with you, it is quicker to do it with them being dry and then just twiddling them out with your fingers. This way it's a lot easier to get the seeds out dry. So you can see when they're wet, when you're trying to harvest them, they do tend to just go a bit gloopy, but they don't have any pulp attached to them or anything like that, so they're really easy seeds. But if you're working with a dried seed capsule in the first place, it's really handy to have a pointy tool to get to the back of these fluffy fibres, because seeds can hide right at the back. An alternative option is to take your seed capsule when it's already wet like this and to place it into the water to release the seeds like this. And then you pour the water over a cloth or a very fine gauze or a sieve, as long as the holes are not larger than the seeds, otherwise they'll just fall straight through. But line it with a towel or a serviette or napkin or kitchen towel, then pour the water through and it will drain like that. And in fact I'll show you that with this one here. So I'll finish off putting the seeds into the water. This is an empty seed capsule, so I've got most of the seeds out now. There's only 1 or 2 left there. So that's what it will look like when it's empty. And then we have all the seeds here in the water. And I'll show you pouring them out into the sieve. So take any sieve that you want to use, doesn't matter. If you're going to be lining it, it won't matter about the size. So just pop your towel into there and then line the sieve with that. And then you'll pour the water into here. Then it should look a little bit something like this. It doesn't matter as long as you can pour the water in, and then once you've done that you can lift out the towel with the seeds on. And then we just pour the water through the sieve. And then you can just let them dry or pat them between another towel and then collect the seeds once they're dry. So here is some more footage I found, which I filmed back in July 2019, where I'm processing a seed pod off my lithops. So this is an easier technique, using a simple cotton pad placed at the bottom of the bowl submerged in water. And here I am dispersing the seed so that it lands onto the cotton pad. This is an easier option if you really do want to process your seeds with the water technique. And then all you need to do, which I show you here, is lift out the cotton pad and being very careful not to make the seeds fall off. So just be very gentle as you lift it out of the water. So out of the water method, this is probably the easiest one to try, and it's probably good for small batches of seed. But for larger batches of seed, I would probably use the dry technique because it's faster and less messy. So just let your lithops seeds dry out fully before storing away. Preferably store them in wax paper or just paper that's breathable and not plastic bags, because they cling and they're very hard to get out again. So these will remain viable for months and many years. So you can see hundreds of lithops seeds here, and I'll be putting these into storage for a few months before I sow them. So let's take a quick look at the lithops on my windowsill. Here is Lithops I. This one's done really well this year, and I never really need to remove the old set of leaves, which you can just about see at the base. These tend to dry back really well on their own. And here it is now, a few days later, after a very deep watering. This is my Lithops I. So you can see the leaves here really dried back well. They're really easy to remove, as you can see here. They're looking really healthy and very plump now after a good deep watering as well. And this Lithops shown in a 5.5 centimetre pot, so that's really healthy now and looking nice and plump after a good watering. So here we are upstairs, just to quickly show you this one here. So this is doubled in size, and this one never needs its old leaves removing. You can't even see where they were anyway. They really desiccate down well below the surface. Okay then, thank you so much for watching today's video, and do remember to like, comment and share, and do subscribe to my channel for more videos. And turn on the notifications so you can be reminded when I upload a video. And I can also be followed now on Instagram at CactusCove channel. Okay then, bye.